Hey guys, what is up? It is AndrewAJT back for another video for you guys. Another video on the Twisted Bow Arena. So one of the reasons I mentioned I wanted to get the Twisted Bow is because of really content for YouTube. There's so much to show you guys of me having my own little personal adventure with the Twisted Bow and seeing where it can be really effective at. And even if I wasn't a YouTuber, I'd still probably get it because it's just so much fun I've been having in the game recently with the Twisted Bow and the places I've tried it out at, which are super fun. I haven't actually tried it out really everywhere yet for two reasons. One, I don't have the requirements for everything to be done effectively. So for example, for the Giant Mole, I still have to do the Falador Hard Diary for the Prospector set, and also just been super busy with school. Multiple days this week, haven't even had time to really log on, so definitely been very busy. So sorry if this video is a little on the shorter side, but I definitely want to show you guys everything I have managed to do recently, and namely Sara, in which the bow is super good at. You can hit a 70 with amethyst arrows on Sara boss, which is really nice. Commander Zilyana. I'm really impressed with my ability to pronounce amethyst arrows, by the way. That seems like a very hard word to pronounce, but I've been nailing it pretty much every single time. So again, if you guys don't know, the Twisted Bow hits higher and more accurate on bosses with a higher magic level, and Sara's magic level is above the cap for the Twisted Bow. The cap is at level 250 mage, and I think Sara or Zilyana has a higher mage level than that, so that's really nice because you're going to be hitting super well on it. It can miss, definitely, like I've said in the previous video. The Twisted Bow doesn't have the best accuracy when you compare its hits, but it's still very effective, by far the best weapon on this boss. It's a huge upgrade to the Armadillo crossbow. Another thing I like about it a lot is that it shoots very far. I think it could shoot up to 10 squares, which is more than the crossbows can. The Armadillo crossbow can shoot 1 square further than the Rune crossbow or the Dragon Hunter crossbow, I'm pretty sure, but that's still not quite as far as the Twisted Bow. And the Twisted Bow is the same speed as a crossbow, so because of that, you're not going to be getting more hits per like wall side, I guess you could say, than the crossbows, but it just makes Sara soloing easier because you don't have to be as tight with your kind of corner movements and such like that. So it becomes way more natural, I would say, to solo Sara with the Twisted Bow than it would be for something like the Armadillo crossbow. Of course, melee is decently effective against Sara, but I don't really tend to prefer that. But I would say that now, because the Twisted Bow makes it so much fun, that like Sara solos are probably the best bet for Sara in terms of duo or trio or such. There's really, you might as well just solo, although double Twisted Bow would certainly be a lot of fun as well. So this was a situation where, with playing on wireless internet recently, which I've never really done for the first time, I tend to disconnect quite a lot, and there was this team outside the door for quite a long time, and I had disconnected for like 30 seconds. And when I logged back in, they had already entered the room. I'm not sure why they didn't just find their own world, because it's usually pretty easy at Sara, but I guess they should have, because look what I get the first kill after logging in. Saradomin sword, that's very nice. So I guess they figured that guy has Arma and I'm in D-Hide, which is a little bit more of an advantage. I'm also in kind of solo gear. As you see, I have all these stamina pots in my inventory. I'm not really loaded on range pots, even though I have a decent amount of them. So I guess that guy figured, okay, we can probably, out-hit this guy. I have better gear, but I guess he doesn't really know that D-Hide isn't actually that much worse than Arma. It has a few advantages at Sara. For example, Armadillo is lighter than D-Hide, so that's very good for Sara because you can serve run energy, and the mage bonus is much better, although you're praying mage for most of this anyway, and the range bonus is slightly better, but the drops would not end here, as you're about to see. So I thought things were going to take a turn for the worse. As you see, when I unpaused the recording here, I got a rune sword, which is like a 1 out of 420 drop, which is really ridiculous. I get quite a number of these from God Wars. I don't see why this is such a weird drop whenever they designed God Wars back in 2007 that they included this. It's like such a troll drop. Again, I'm not really the type of person who's like, oh my god, that could have been a hilt, but definitely something strange for sure from Sara. I don't think I ended up picking it up because you want to, if you forget to bring Alks, which I did here, you don't really want to pick up rune items because they weigh a lot and you need run energy here. So look at this Verax guy. He was actually using Dragon Claws, which I guess I've never seen anyone use it, Sara. I guess it's good for crashing because you can get a couple high hits. I know during the KBD mass I used Dragon Claws very effectively to beat out some of the other Twisted Bowers, which at the time I didn't have the Twisted Bow. But I got some decent hits this kill, and it would really pay off big time. I certainly was not getting all the kills. Actually, the declaws were getting a decent amount of them, but I did get this kill, and look what it is. Holy shit, a Saradomin hilt. That is my third Saradomin hilt in my name in 305 kills. That's pretty goddamn unbelievable. I don't know how my luck at this boss is so goddamn good. My first hilt in my name was the solo. The second hilt in my name was the back-to-back hilts. That was duo. And this third hilt again is all to myself because this is kind of a free-for-all here. So super, super lucky that I got this hilt here. 40 mil. One of my concerns with the Twisted Bow is it going to pay for itself? Is it really that good that it's going to get me all this money back, this like 975 mil that I spent on it back? And holy shit, 40 mil is a long way to making that money back. And look at that guy. Yeah, fuck you. I'm not even going to read what he said here. Not happy, these guys, but they should have just found their own world. So let's take a look at some of the profits from that trip. Those people left after that kill, and I did stay for a very long solo. As you can see, my inventory amount of pots there. And sorry to that guy who comments on all my Saradomin hilt videos that I don't make it into a god sword. You probably could make a few hundred more K from making that into a god sword, so I apologize for that. That guy's probably going to comment on my video again. But so yeah, I don't have armor here, so already I can buy back some of my Armadyl armor, which is really, really nice. And I can finally have the kind of max range bonus with the Twisted Bow again. Speaking of the best range bonus, they did announce today the Ava's Assembler at RuneFest, which will offer more range bonus than the Ava's Accumulator. I'm not sure if it'd be worth it or not to use, because with the 99 range cape, you get the +4 prayer bonus as well as the max cape, and you also get the effect of it picking up your arrows, which I really, really like, of course. So I'm not sure if I'll be using the Ava's Assembler. I'm not sure the exact requirements to get it. I'm sure I'll be able to get those requirements. As you see there, the range bonus for Arma is not too high. It's only 6 more than D'hide, which is maybe a little bit underpowered, especially because it gives negative attack bonus in terms of melee attack. But you do get way more mage defense, and you can't see it here, but it is lighter than the D'hide, which is very good for Saradomin solos because of all that running you're doing. It could save you some stamina pot dosage sometimes. I'm not actually using the max range bonus here. I have the range cape, which is obviously not as good as the accumulator for bonus, and the suffering ring. So one thing I wanted to try, admittedly, with the Twisted Bow as well, just to throw this in as a little bonus, is Zulrah. And I don't fully understand all of Zulrah's phases yet, so sorry I'm doing a pretty shitty job of it in this video. But I did want to try it. I know the Twisted Bow is good at Zulrah, although one thing that surprised me is you're actually not supposed to use the Twisted Bow against the mage form. My friend SK Dudeman, who I've known for a very long time, he told me about this, basically that the blowpipe is still better DPS against the mage form, which I guess makes sense because it's better, it's weak to range, so might as well use the faster weapon. But it kind of surprised me. But I figured I would try this, just, you know, see if I like Zulrah a little bit more, and if I did, I would learn all the phases and such. I know you can memorize all of them because after a certain amount of changes, it goes into a pattern. It's like one of 4 different phases it can go through. So I tried it. It's pretty effective, the Twisted Bow. You use it on the range phase and the melee phase, and it hits decently well. It's still not very accurate, but it can be a little bit fun to do this. The kills don't seem that fast compared to how I was doing them with the Trident and the Blowpipe, so I'm not sure if it's really that much faster. But the one thing that really stuck out to me doing some Zulrah for a few hours, or not even a few hours, is that the drops are just complete ass. I know they said it was a 35% nerf to Zulrah, and I wasn't too familiar with the old Zulrah drops, so I don't have a great comparison, but it seems like most of the drops aren't even appearing in my valuable drop notifications very often. Like, I have the notification set to if it's 10k or over, and all I seem to get is like U-logs or snake skins or different little supplies. It just seems like total waste. Flax I get. So the drops just seem really, really bad, and I know those are the worst ones, but I don't see any way this can be like 2 mil per hour, even if you're getting consistent like 1-minute kills. It just seems really bad in terms of the drops, and I know they said they only nerfed the drops a little bit, but it seems way worse than that, so I don't see myself doing too much Zulrah in the future, other than maybe if I want to get the pet. The pet is pretty cool. The mutagens I don't care for too much for a couple reasons. Firstly, because the Serpentine Helm is very useless now, so it's like, why do you even want a cosmetic upgrade to a useless item? And I like the green one the best anyway, so what's the difference? Maybe the red one is a little bit nicer, to be fair, but the blue one definitely sucks. But yeah, the pet would be nice to go for, but otherwise I don't see myself spending too much time at this boss. And the drops are definitely not very good. Like, look at that, a crystal seed, just pretty low priced items. So that's going to mostly do it for the video today, guys. Couple things to talk about before we head out. One thing is, if you guys have never seen my Saradomin pet reaction video, that will be in the description and also in the end screen if you guys have never seen. I actually have a full playlist now of my pet drops. I really reorganized my playlist and my channel as well. So even if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see the playlist in a pretty good order. And if you guys want to check that out, you can. And also I have a lot of different Sara videos. I have the back-to-back Saradomin Health video, which was featured in SparkMac Live a few months ago. I'll put that in the description. And also my Saradomin Health solo video, which was pretty cool as well. The other thing to talk about is I recently talked about in the last video that I made a Patreon. YouTube has been really cracking down with the adpocalypse recently, and one thing that's been happening more is people who are swearing in their videos are getting their videos demonetized. And it hasn't happened to me yet on any large scale, but I don't want to censor myself for you guys, so I did make a Patreon for those who wish to support me even further. That'll be linked in the end screen, but I definitely, you guys support me a lot as it is, so don't feel obligated to support me there. But if you want to, it's an option. And otherwise, yeah, that's going to do it for the video today, guys. Join the clan chat, AndrewAJT62. That'll be up on screen for you guys. Also, like the video if you enjoyed, and comment if you have something to say, or if you have an opinion or a suggestion for future videos. That type of stuff really helps me out. If you are a sub, you can turn on the little bell next to the sub button to get notifications whenever I upload a new video, so you can be the first to see it. And you'd also follow me on Twitter, where I post OSRS updates all the time. You can follow me on Twitch down below, and you could also join the Discord, which is always growing. I think we have well over like 150 people now, maybe. So always nice to see people posting their RuneScape stuff and doing bossing on there and stuff pretty much all the time. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Definitely expect some more Twisted Bow content, and I'm looking forward to making it for you guys. Have a good one, guys.